Welcome to the Excuse Masters Podcast.
Hey, this is Tim Kaufman. Thank you so much for joining me as I talk to some of the most amazing people on the planet about excuses and why they didn't let excuses hold them back from a plant-based lifestyle. So sit down, buckle up, and hang on as my guests show you how to
Smash excuses.
Hi, I'm sitting here chatting with Nalida Besson. Thank you for joining us today, Nalida.
Thank you for having me, Tim.
So I want to take the first 5 minutes and just, in a brief 5 minutes, can you explain to us how a plant-based lifestyle has changed your life?
Okay, I'm going to try to be brief because it really has changed my life tremendously. I started really in 2013, and I was very ill. I'd come back from vacation with my family, and I was experiencing just massive pain, chronic pain everywhere in my body. So much pain, joints, everything hurt, even my skin hurt. I couldn't even move around. It was summer. I'm a teacher, so I was on summer vacation. We had just come back from Orlando and came back home to Boston, and I was not well. And I'm a lifetime vegetarian, but I was a junk food vegetarian, so I was still eating junk because basically, like, Oreos are vegan. So I was having that kind of lifestyle and also sedentary and was not well and very obese. And with all the pain that I was experiencing, I needed to make a change, but I had a moment of epiphany, I guess, when my son one night came to my bed and he was sitting and talking to me. And then I looked at him and I knew that I wanted to live, that I needed to do something so that I could be around for him and for my two daughters, so my husband wouldn't be the one with the kids alone. And so I made a change. I prayed, and I kind of looked over, and I had the Eat to Live book by Dr. Furman that was on my nightstand. That had been there, but that I hadn't read through. And then it was like an answer to my prayer. And I said, okay, I'm going to read that. I'm going to do it. So I did. And I just completely made the changes. Once I made the commitment that I was going to do it, it was worth it to do it, for my kids. My being in pain, yes, and suffering and being afraid that I wouldn't be there for them, but because I wanted to be there for them. So I just basically threw out all the junk food, or everything. I mean, much to my kids' dismay, all the chips, candy, cookies, everything. I just said, I talked to my husband. I said, and he knew how I was suffering, and he agreed to that. So I just basically got rid of all the junk and just replaced them with good things. So fruits, vegetables, the Larabars, for the kids, nuts and seeds, all of these different things, all these healthy whole plant foods replaced with it. And then we all just gradually adapted. I cooked that way. I threw away all of the sugar. Eventually I just gave up sugar, period. And, the months that followed, oils and salt. So I basically just made a drastic change and learned to cook differently. I'm from a Haitian background. My family's from Haiti, and my husband also. He was born in Haiti. I was born and raised in Boston. But, we have this similar background culturally, and we always cooked with a lot of salt and a lot of oil. So I had to really change all of that and learn to cook things a little differently and still make them taste well, use more herbs and spices and things like that. So just basically we changed how we ate and how we cooked.
And what are the results now from doing that? How has it changed?
The results, and I talk about that sometimes, like on my page. Before I made that major change, I had small results because I made small changes. So for most of my life, I was over like 260 pounds, close to 270 pounds. And I made a few changes, like I cut out soda, I cut out most juices, I cut out most dairy, but not everything. So that brought me down like over 20 pounds. I was in the 240s. And when I made this big change, and I totally, just changed the lifestyle, whole food, plant-based, I lost over 100 pounds.
Wow.
I went from size 24 to a size 6. I went from wearing like extra large or sometimes 2X's to smalls, sometimes extra smalls. I mean, I still can't believe it sometimes. I'll go to the store and I'm like, okay, I'm getting this shirt that has the S on it. And I'm like, is it going to fit me? It just looks too small because sometimes in my
Yeah.
brain hasn't caught up with my body and it fits
Right.
all the time. It fits. So it changed me physically. It changed me mentally, and I think even spiritually, because I made that commitment saying my body is a temple of the Holy Spirit and I don't want to trash it. So I think it changed me spiritually, mentally, physically. It helped me to be more fit, to have more endurance, to exercise. I started off in the beginning just walking, doing
Right.
walk videos, and I could barely get through like a 15-minute walk away to pounds
Right.
walk.
What about like health wise?
Oh, I mean, health wise, I don't have the chronic pain. I used to have gallbladder attacks because I have multiple gallstones. I don't even feel my gallbladder now. I don't get, I've never gotten any gallbladder attacks. No more chronic pain. I have had chronic back issues because I do have a history of a herniated disc, and also mild scoliosis, and all the weight that I had put so much strain on it that, I've seen the chiropractor and all of that, but I don't have that massive pain. I used to have GERD. I used to take that purple pill that they have the
Right.
commercials for. Tums, I would have, even with the purple pill, I would have to take Tums, and it still wouldn't get away all of the heartburn and the GERD. But no issues with that. No heartburn, no medication for that. Just all of those things have just resolved.
That's awesome. That's awesome. So, Nalita, this is Excuse Smashers. So, I'm going to give you an excuse, and your job is to smash it.
Oh,
Okay? So, this is the excuse that I hear. I hear this excuse all the time. I would totally do a plant based. And I would even, beyond that, I would try to eat more healthfully, but I have a family to take care of, and it takes all my time away because I have to take care of my family. So, my question for you is, why do you think I asked you to take care of this excuse for us?
I think, well, first, I have three kids. I have a husband and I have three kids, so I have that family, and I can understand how people struggle. Well, how am I going to do this? How hard is it? Or how am I going to do all the meal prepping? Or sometimes people, I think it's bigger than what it is. And in my case, my three kids also have special needs. So all three of them are legally blind, from congenital cataracts. My husband also is legally blind, same condition, is hereditary through his family. And my kids also have other issues, developmental delays, and two of my kids on the autism spectrum. One of them is more affected by it. So they need more support. They need, to get ready in the morning. My husband and I have to do probably a little bit more than other parents do. Um, I have to do more for them, just, with appointments, and we're busy. They see different specialists, and so I think you probably asked me that because I'm busy, just as the average parent is, but I have a little bit more than the average parent because I have three kids, all of them who have special needs that are significant. And I still manage to do it. I don't think it's really a lot more time. There's different ways, and I think we're probably going to get into that soon. Is, how do you get around that? But I think I found a way to just balance it and to be able to make it work in my lifestyle, like doing some meal prepping and things like that, and not making it like a big deal or putting it in my mind that there's no way that I can do it.
Right, right. That's awesome. That's perfect. Um, so now what I'm going to ask you is this excuse of not having time because you have a family to take care of. Can you give us some examples like how you could let this like totally derail your plant-based lifestyle, or what are some of the like actual challenges? Give us some examples of actual challenges about not only having the kids to take care of, but having kids with special needs as well.
I mean, actual challenges. In my case specifically, it's like let's say I'm a teacher, so this summer I'm off, which kind of makes it easier, but at the same time, I have a lot of appointments for my kids. They see specialists. My girls see a specialist because they had like symptoms for PCOS, and when we went plant based, that helped them, so that's all resolved. But I still have to follow up and get them tested. Luckily, all their tests are good. Their thyroid, hormones, everything is just in a good place. But I still have to make the time and go to these appointments for them. Sometimes neurology appointment. My younger daughter has a history of seizure disorder. She's fine, but these additional appointments for them. They have to see the eye specialist, regularly, and I have to bring them. And sometimes, a lot of times, that's in the evening or right after work. Sometimes I could be gone all day, go to work, come back, or pick them up from school. They're at two different schools for the three kids. And, I have to do all that running around. And it's like, okay, now you get home, what are you supposed to do? Do you have time? That's when, in the past, it'd be like, okay, just order pizza or just order, Chinese rice or whatever. But now I've built it into the lifestyle that things are planned better. So even if we didn't have time to prep food or whatever, I have like box beans. That's like staples in my pantry. Salty
Right.
box beans from Whole Foods. Canned beans. Some people get. I just like the box beans. Frozen vegetables. All these things. I could whip up something. Pretty quickly.
Right. And the other thing is, not only do the kids, I assume, have all different appointments with different doctors, it's not like Michael can actually get the kids to their appointments either, is it?
Exactly. He doesn't drive, of course, because he's blind.
Right.
Once in a while, he has some appointments. Like he'll do sometimes maybe a dental appointment with my older daughter. He's done a lot of appointments with her because he'll take a paratransit. But that's assuming that I'm going to be back home from work so that I can be there for the other kids, because that has to be scheduled. It's not something that can happen that spontaneously, as
Right.
if there are two parents who both are able to drive. I have to be there for a lot of them. If one of them is having surgery, I definitely want to be there, see what it's all about, before we sign the consent, and be there. So we have all those challenges besides the normal things like, okay, the kids are going to do homework. We're going to help them with homework. We're going to help them, get ready, for school the next day in the morning. So we have all of those typical parent responsibilities, but then those additional ones as well that, could kind of say, and I guess which I did in the past, like, well, it's overwhelming, it's too much, I'm just gonna forget about it, or if it gets to be overwhelming, well, I didn't have time, I had a good excuse.
Right.
So I didn't do it. So really I'm harming myself because, things got tough.
Right.
And harming myself is not what's gonna make it better, but that was the excuse.
Right. Okay, so the last little segment here, if you could just share with us some of the tools that you have used and still use to overcome some of these challenges, or what some people would make an excuse out of.
Okay. So I have a lot of things. Some of it is just my own personal things. I pray because I feel like I have to, because it's a lot for me. And then recently also I started, meditating just to kind of calm myself and not be too stressed out with all that. And then some other practical things I do is I'll buy things ahead of time. So I have a number of things that I do. I use a lot of food delivery services, which doesn't cost any more than like if I were to go to the supermarket, honestly. Like I have three different services that I'll use. So one of them is like I can get food delivered. So I ordered food yesterday that's actually going to come tonight from the supermarket, from one of the supermarket places. And it's basically, once it's set up, it's easy. Literally, I shop in 5 minutes on my phone
Nice.
from, on this app. And I just put everything that I've ever purchased was on there. All I have to do is just touch it on the phone and then put the order in. Just for shopping and delivering for me, it's like $6. Which I'm like, if I had to take the time, pay the gas and do all of that, it's pretty much worth it. They come to deliver it right to my house. So I do that, and I order a lot of things in bulk, especially frozen vegetables, because I know there are times when we're going to have those appointments, or I have to be late at work, or whatever's going to happen, and we don't have the food ready. It's very easy, even to microwave, even to bake. Come home, get vegetables on a tray, put parchment paper, roast it in the oven. Get sweet potatoes, bake them in the oven, or whatever it is that's going to make it easy. I get box beans, and I have another delivery service, and they actually deliver from Whole Foods. So I can get some of the things that I really like from Whole Foods. So I'll get like box beans. I get dried ones also. I have pressure cookers that I'll use when I have the time to make things like beans, stews, and just make beans that's in bulk that I can use for salads. I buy pre-made salad that's like triple wash because I'm not. I used to say, well, I'm not going to eat salads, too much work. I have to rinse it out. I mean, I had some pretty lame excuses too. It's too much to rinse the salad. Okay, no more excuses for that. Buy the salad that's pre-washed, and if you're someone who's really picky about it has to be washed, I get the one that says triple wash. So I figured, triple wash is pretty clean. So I use boxed organic leaves, and they're not all that expensive. Get them in those big boxes. I get several of them delivered, or I'll get them after work if I have time. But usually I get them delivered because that saves me a ton of time.
Mm-hmm.
Having to go to the supermarket, pick out everything. That's like 2 hours, and with that 2 hours, I could be doing something else. Like I'll be cooking tonight while the people are shopping for me.
Right,
And
that's awesome.
groceries.
No, so I happen to know because I came to visit you, and you are like the Instapot queen. So can you just talk a little bit about Instapot and how that's helped you?
Oh my goodness, I love the pressure cookers. I have 3 pressure cookers, and I'm a teacher, and my husband's a musician, so it's not like I'm rich. And my mother gave me the first pressure cooker, and then I ended up getting 2 more, and they were instant pots, and I got them when they were on sale. So there's always like either QVC's having some kind of sale, or Amazon when they had their little specials, and I was able to get them because I knew that would help me, so I could do some batch cooking. So like right now, as I'm speaking to you, and hopefully it doesn't beep. I mean, hopefully it's far enough away that you don't hear it beep when it's ready. I have 2 bags of 2 pounds of dried beans cooking in there. And what I'm gonna do with it is I'm gonna take half of it and put it in a glass bowl, put it in the refrigerator, and that's for us to use with just to add to salads or whatever. And then the other half is gonna stay in there, and I'm gonna make a bean stew with it. So I have another one that could be batch cooking other things in there. So it just helps because then I'm able to do multiple things and then just store them, refrigerate them, freeze them, and have them ready. So when I'm getting ready to go to work, I have them there. I'll put like beans in little half cup little bowls. All I have to do is grab it.
Right.
So using something like the Instant Pot, it just saves a lot of time. Before I had that, yeah, juicer stove tool would work. I have to plan a little bit more, but having the pressure cooker really makes it a lot faster.
Awesome. Those are awesome tips. And it sounds like if you summarize this whole thing, that it's really more about planning ahead than anything to make it work.
Definitely, because if it's worth it, if you make a commitment and it's really worth it, then you'll find a way to do it. And it's not like rocket science. It's not like it's really not too much if you think about it. Like when I think about the time that I would waste and put into I'm an itinerant teacher, so I travel. I work with students who are blind and visually impaired, and I have to travel to the schools. In between the schools, okay, I would grab junk food all the time. We runs to Dunkin' Donuts, eating, all kinds of junk. I'd make the time for that. Some people would be like, oh, it's too expensive or whatever. And, I mean, now that's a different kind of excuse, but still tied into all of that. And it's like the amount of time and money I would spend on all this other junk. I'm not having to waste all of that time and money to live this lifestyle. And it's so worth it. And not only with grocery bills and things like that, but for my health, like where would I be if I were so sick and had to be spending all that money on co-pays for the purple pill still?
Right. And time too, for real.
Exactly.
Yeah. Well, listen, I cannot thank you enough. We're out of time, but I appreciate this conversation so much, and I know it's going to help a bunch of people. So thank you so much for doing this.
Thank you for having me, Tim, and I really hope it helps people. And good luck with this. I love that excuse smasher. I feel like you should have a hammer as a pro.
Awesome. Thanks a lot, Nalida.
Thank you.
Wow. Nolita is she's so amazing. I actually had the privilege to go out to Boston and meet her and spend some time with her. And I'm telling you, if you spend a day with Nolita and you see the amount of work and the amount of chores that she does, not just to take care of a family of 4, but to take care of a family of 4 with special needs, it's amazing. It's amazing. And if anyone in the world had an excuse that they couldn't worry about their health, or they're too busy for a plant-based lifestyle, or for prepping food or eating whole food, it's Nolita. And if anyone could have used that excuse, she totally could. So I feel bad robbing excuses from people, but if Nolita could smash its excuse, anybody can. Definitely check her out. Her Facebook page and her website is called Plant-Based God's Grace, and I'll put a link to it underneath. Thanks a lot. Look, if you like this and you think it would help people, please share it. Share it as many places as you can, and let's spread the word. Let's spread the word that, whatever you think is holding you back doesn't have to. It's all about perspective. All right. Thanks again. See you soon.